Hi, this is Lonio again. I'm commentating another game from the SC2GG European Weekly number 7. This time it's a round of 8 game, and we've got MoKKaL again against MoKKaL. So we've got MoKKaL as the Teal Terran in the bottom left, and we've got MoKKaL as the orange Zerg in the top left. And this time we've got a non-standard map, one of the iCCup maps, which is God's Garden, which Architect kindly decided to add to the map pool for the weekly tournament this week, which is nice, rather than playing on the boring standard Blizzard ladder maps. And this is a Brood War map, so in Brood War it's slightly favoured against Terran. It's 54% for Terran, but obviously in StarCraft 2 it's going to be a bit different, and we see MoKKaL doing the extractor trick to get to get his drones out a bit quicker. And one thing about this map is you've got a non-rock blocked natural expansion, a bit like Delta Quadrant, but obviously you can take that without having to destroy any rocks, which makes it a bit easier. And you've got a fairly open expansion down here, so you've got kind of two close expansions, but this works both for Zerg because they can take that expansion quite quickly, and for other races it's quite handy as well because they can take a fairly protected expansion. And as Nom was pointing out in his chat, there's no Zonnaga watchtowers on this map. It's a direct conversion. I don't think there's any gold patches on the map either. It's all standard minerals. You've got basically 3 bases in each corner, so you can expand across the map, which could be especially good for Zerg, and take the expansions around the other bases because it's a 4-player map. And we see here, I think it's a 14 or 15 hatch from MoKKaL into his back main, or into his back expansion, sorry, which is quite protected, but there's a ledge behind it, you can see up here, which is quite good for tank drops because the tanks can hit the hatchery down there, so you'll have to watch out for that. And we've got the scout coming in, and they're just chatting about the game. Nom's asking if MoKKaL used to play Brood War, and he did a bit. But we've got fairly standard enemies from both players, and gas coming up from a Nom. He's not using it for anything at the moment. He's not got his orbital command either. He's got quite a few minerals, and he's not producing anything from his barracks. And he's scouted that the expansions come up from MoKKaL, but he's not going to be able to put any early pressure on really. And we've got the spawning pool coming up now on probably about 14-15 pool again, and gas coming up, so we might be getting some speedlings. And the overlord is just coming in now to Nom's base, so they both scattered each other first off, and an overlord coming up here which should be able to spot any drops coming from the back, and he might send one a bit further down later on to spot any drops coming in from down there. And we've got a factory now coming up for Nom, and the fact he's got quite a few minerals, he might be going for a fast starport maybe for some Banshee Harass, or get some Hellions, but he hasn't got anything on him. Now he's getting reactor on the barracks, so had to see what he's going to go for now, because normally if you start a reactor, he's got one marine coming out, if you start a reactor when you start the factory, then it'll be finished when the factory finishes. So it'll be interesting to see if that is for the factory, or whether he's just going to start pumping out marines and get maybe a tech lab on the factory for tanks, or get a starport. He's getting another gas up now. Sorry, I haven't had the production tab up. We've got some Zergonists coming out. He's got a nice wall off here with the factory and the barracks, and he's just going to send his marine out to scout, and it looks like he's going to swap that over, so he's probably going to go for some early Hellions. Oh, I missed that completely. He's got a supply depot and barracks again at the ramp, which means that MoKKaL's not going to be able to take his expansion here, but he's not going to be too worried about that because he's already on 2 bases. But it is going to keep him stuck in his base for a bit, and when those Hellions come in, I'm not sure if Hellions will be able to fit up there, but he is pumping a couple out, so the Hellions will come in and do some damage to the drone line, assuming that they can get up the ramp at all. And the SCV is nicely protected from the lings, so he's just going to be able to repair the bunker without any damage. And oh, sorry, being completely stupid, he can just lower the supply depot to let the Hellions up. So he's going to have to defend against the Hellions, but he's got a layer up, and he'll probably get a spire down fairly soon. Oh no, he's going for a roach temporarily against the Hellions, because that'll be quicker than getting some mutalisks out. So he's got the roach one coming up. The Queen might move towards the ramp fairly soon. No, he's going to sit it back in his base, and the Italians are going to come in and start attacking the lings, and they're moving back to the bunker, so the Marine's going to be able to take down the lings as well. And that was pretty ineffective. And he's got 4 Hellions now off this front door, and managed to trap his SCV in the base. But at the moment he's not doing much. He's got a Banshee coming out now, so he's just going to sit at this ramp and wait, and getting a Hydralisk down, which will be quite good against the Banshees. And that's just been scanned now by MoKKaL. And these creep tumors are getting taken down, which is quite good. But there's a spine crawler coming up, which is able to be hit by the Hellions from down there, but not when they don't have vision. So the Hydralisks are going to be quite good against the Banshees when they arrive. And just check the income tab. Oh, here come the Hellions, taking down the Zerglings, or attacking the Zerglings, but the Hydralisk are light, so they'll take a lot of damage as well from the Hellions, and he's not been able to take any of these down so far, but the Spine Crawler should be able to at least do some damage when they retreat towards the ramp, and he's able to hit down there, but that might get taken out quite quickly by the Hellions if they can kite it, but now he's got some roaches out, so they will hopefully be able to deal with the Hellions and protect his ramp, and then the Hydralisks, when some of them pop, will be able to help the Queen deal with the Banshees, so we won't suffer from that. Unlike last game where we saw Sipper pretty much get destroyed by Banshees, but here comes the Banshee coming in, and I don't think we've got any Overlords, Overseers, so it'll be Queen against Banshee, and the Hellions appear to be tossing with the roaches. No, the Queen gets taken down by the Banshee, so they'll be able to cloak and deal some damage to all the other drones over here. And it's got 2 kills now, so it's got 1 drone in the Queen, and the Hydralisk should really be aiming to try and take down the Banshee, but I don't think he's got an Overseer yet, so he's not able to actually see the Banshee because it's cloaked. And let's check the production tab, we've got another Banshee coming, some more Hydralisks coming, and the Roach Hydralisk, the Roaches should be able to tank the damage from the from the Hellions, and the Hydra should be able to take down the Banshee, but he's killed 11 drones to the 1 Banshee, and it's going to take ages to kill that layer, but he really needs his Overseer to get in position so that he can take down the Banshee and get his Hydra there. So yeah, that's coming in, so he should be able to take down the Banshee, but it's quite run down anyway, so that was a bit unnecessary to have the Overseer there. And we've got another Banshee coming in cloaked over here, so that's going to probably take down this Queen as well. And then the Hydras and oh no, it's just going to go straight for drones because the Hydras and the Overseer will probably be there fairly swiftly. And they'll be able to take it out quite quickly, so he's just going to get as many drones as he can first, and you can see he's shift clicking on the drones so he doesn't attack any buildings. But the drones are running towards the Overseer, and now the Hydra should be able to take that down really quickly with the high DPS. And we've got the expansion up the orbital command for Nom, and an Overseer just sat over here, probably checking in case anything funny tries to happen up there. So we've still got a lot of Hellions on the field, and only a single Marine, so really what MoKKaL could do is push out, and he'll probably be able to take down the complete lack of army that Nom's got, so he's just running some Zerglings by, but then spotted by the Hellions, and they'll probably get taken down quite quickly. Although he's managed to almost surround them with these Hydras and the Roaches, and he'd really want the Roaches in front of the Hydras, because the Hydras have got slightly longer range, and the Roaches will be able to tank the damage from the Hellions. But at the moment they're just sitting here being not repaired by the SCV, he's just kind of being a bit lazy, and we've only got 2 gas up at the moment in the main for MoKKaL, and only 2 gas, and looks like he misclicked when he dropped this mule, so it's not actually mining, because if you don't click on a mineral patch it won't start mining. And apparently MoKKaL doesn't normally play Zerg, although he's doing a reasonable job for the most part, although he's not droned up very well, so he comes quite far behind at the moment, and it looks like Nom's going to probably take a long game, and he's getting siege tech, stim pack, getting some Marines and tanks, so he's going to probably push out with some Marines and tanks in a bit, and he's getting some more gas up. And where are we? So we've got a Viking out now, and some Marines, and some Hellions, and a Banshee, and now that SCV is actually repairing the Hellions, and we've got a Banshee here just waiting near the expansion, so that might come in a bit, and try and do a bit of damage over here. And we've got the Viking coming in, that's probably going to try and snipe the Overlord and keep any Overseers away when they try and come in, but the Hydra should be able to take down the Viking quite quickly. So he'll probably move the Banshee around in a bit and do some damage against these drones. With the Hydra and the Overseer, they should be able to deal with it fairly quickly. Assuming he manages to get the Overseer in position, he could probably do with another Overseer really. And the Hellions come in as his main, so they're going to take down a lot of drones here, and that's a lot of drones. So the Roaches are able to deal with them quite well, but he's just lost so many drones. So at the moment it's 37 SCVs for Nom, and it'll update in a second to tell us how many drones are left. And the Banshee is here, doing some damage over here as well, because the Overseer was in position. That's got 5 drones, 6 drones, and now the Hydra's just managed to take it out. So So now we've got 20 drones against 39 SUVs, and these drones aren't even mining at the moment, so MoKKaL's way behind on the econ, and it's not going to do too well at the moment. We've only got one drone on the gas here, but I don't think Nom's going to be too bothered. He's got 3 racks out, a couple of factories, and he's going to get a reactor on his starport, so he's probably going to get some medevacs to go with his marine force, and he's moving out. He's got no upgrades on anything. I'm not even sure if he's got a engineering bay, so he's probably just going to push out again with marine and tank like he did last game. And it looks like MoKKaL's going to push out with his Roach Hydra force, but the Hydras are so slow off creep that they're way behind the Roaches, so he's going to need to wait and group up his forces and hopefully try and tank some damage from the tank against these Roaches. And he's not waited for his Hydras to pop up, so he's going to lose a lot of his forces unnecessarily, and those tanks are just going to rip through the Hydras even though they've been nerfed to do less damage to light. But he's not going to be able to run away from the Hydras and he GG's. And it looks like Nom again is going to stay in the game and kill every single unit like he was probably planning to last game. But MoKKaL there at the end especially just didn't group his forces together, and he just ran in bit by bit. The Hydras was so slow off creep, and he didn't manage to keep his econ up, so he just fell far too far behind again, not being able to deal too well with the harass from the Hellions and the Banshees, and that pretty much cost him the game. So Nom goes through to the next round of 4, and I think he's playing Splax, who I played and lost to. So I hope you enjoyed the game. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.